Jai Shri Gurudev. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Ravi N, Assistant Professor, Department of MCOM, BGS IMS, Chikballapur. Dear students, in this video I am going to explain the concept operational risk. Operational risk. Okay, so which is in the MCOM syllabus, that is in the subject risk management. So firstly, let me explain what is operational risk. See, operational risk is a form of risk that involves system mistakes, human interference, inaccurate information, or other technical issues. See, this operational risk is one kind of a risk which is form of a which involves system mistakes or human interference or inaccurate information or any other technical issues makes one loss to the organization. Due to the technical issues or due to that improper management or inaccurate information or human errors or due to some mistakes in the systems, so due to these reasons, these causes so leads to a risk called operational risk. See, in simple, the operational risk is the risk of a change in value caused by the fact that actual losses incurred for inadequate or failed internal process or people and systems or from any other external events differ from the expected losses. So these operational risk is the prospect of loss, so resulting from inadequate or failed procedures or system errors or failed policies and rules and regulations. So employee error, system failures, fraud or other criminal activities may leads to these errors or a risk called operational risk. So here I have mentioned one diagram. So see, processor of financial service providing corporation makes an error as he inputs $10 lakh instead of $1 lakh. See, that is what in the system error, and changes client's rating from B to AA. See how, in the sense, if the system error is occurred, I think it may be a human error also, system error as well as human error. So these kind of errors will leads to a operational risk. Okay, so we'll see what is the operational risk definition. So here, so operational risk is a risk that includes errors because of the system, human intervention, or incorrect data, or because of other technical problems. Every firm or individual has to deal with such an operational risk in completing any task or delivering of any task. Any operational risk will applied. Risk will happen in completing of any task or delivering the task. Okay, see, that risk includes some errors. So that may be because of a system, or that may be because of human intervention, or maybe that may be because of incorrect data which is inputted to the systems, or because of other technical problems. So these issues will lead to a operational risk. See, in other words, with the firms, operational risk include system errors, human errors, improper management, quality issues, and other operation related errors. See, this operational risk include these kind of errors. It may be system errors, human errors, or improper management in the organization, or quality related issues, and any other operation related errors. So in the case of individuals, we can't drill it down to error because of self process or other technical problems. See, we can't drill it down, we can't control, we can't minimize or mitigate these kind of risks because so the technical issues are there in the business organizations. People may not know the knowledge and may not know the technical issues, may not find the technical issues in the systems. So because of that reasons, these errors or these risks and usual in the organization. Okay, and next we'll go to the types or typology. We can say typology of operational risk. are in simple types of operational risk. What and all the types we have? So with this diagram we can understand what and all the types we have. See, human errors. Firstly, we have human errors, and second, technical errors, and thirdly, gap in flow, and next, uncontrollable events, and next, intentional frauds. So these are the errors, or these are the issues operational which leads to a operational risk. We can say types of operational risks are these: human risk, human operational risk or technical operational risk, gap in flow and uncontrollable events, and intentional frauds. So these all activities will leads to a operational risk in any of the business organization or any of the business entity. We'll see one by one. First one is human errors. See, human errors, we already seen in the diagram. First type of operational risk is human errors. This human error, we can also refer to this as a fat finger input error. Fat finger input error. See what it is. See, fat finger input error, it is happened due to negligence of human beings or workers who are working in the organization. So that it is called as a fat finger input error. So because of negligence, the error may occur or loss may occur in the organization. Okay, and in this type of error is the most common. This type of error is most common in the business, in the organization, and it is biggest risk to the organization or to the individual. It is very common in nature, and it is very biggest risk to the organization, which leads a more loss to the organization. Okay, and nextly, it may also relate to the risk. It may also relate to the skill issue of the processor who may be taking care of the systems, who may be inputting the information to the systems. So that person may include involved in that risk. That person may make mistakes while inputting the information. Okay, so that is what a human error, and the reasons for incorrect input may be multiple, including incomplete information, or maybe incomplete understanding or incomplete knowledge, and inconsistent processing, and genuine input error, or many more. So however, processing of such an error may affect the output seriously, and that may be also lead to a loss, a huge loss to the business organization. So that processing of an error may affect the output very seriously, and also that may leads to a heavy loss to the business organization. So this is what first type of operational risk, that is human error, due to a negligence of the human being, due to the negligence of the workers working in the business organization, or improper knowledge, incomplete understanding, incomplete knowledge, and any inconsistent processing, or if they don't have a genuine input, if they inputting the ungenuine information. See, in that cases also we might get a operational risk, that is in the human error. And next type of operational risk is technical error. See, the technical error includes system glitches. Even though everything is perfect, there are sometimes system issue like slowdown of system, connectivity problems, or system crashes, incorrect calculation by application, or an unknown missing bridges in the system. See, sometimes the output received may be off from actual expected result, but because of technical unknown defect, it may be difficult to catch. So the technical error is one type of operational risk, that even we have on a perfect system, sometimes it happens. Sometimes the system issues will comes down, that leads to slowdowning of the system and connectivity problems and many more. Okay, so this is what a technical error, and it is one type of operational risk. which will leads to a loss. And third type of operational risk is gap in flow. Sometimes information is missing from the source itself because of data lag or restrictions. Gap in flow in the sense, see, somehow in certain cases the flow of information may take gap, which means data lag or restrictions in the inputting the data from the source itself. It may be struck. Okay, in such cases the output gets affected. The required output varies from the data desired to get, and that may be put into the process at a risk. Entire process will be going to risk if any data which is inputted, which is the required output varies. If it is affected while giving input, the output may be affected. Output gets affected, and definitely that may put into the process risk, and which leads to a huge loss. And next type of operational risk is uncontrollable events. Sometimes, see, uncontrollable events also include effect from an external environment. These uncontrollable events includes the effects from an external environment. The external environment leads to a loss or a risk, like political scenarios, weather changes, and syndromes affecting living beings, or outdated technology, etc. These and many more which will affect the performance and quality of the processors, and hence puts the output at a risk. So this is what, uncontrollable events. The political scenarios, or weather changes, and other outdated technologies will leads to a huge loss to the company, and that puts the output at a risk. Okay, so this is what uncontrollable events. And last one is intentional fraud. There have been cases where intentional conflict of interest has arisen, resulting in an illegal profit to trade executors. Sometimes what happens now, see, most of the organizations have a clause in their policies which the employees have to abide by for fighting against conflict of interest and fraudulent practices, failing which they meet with extreme consequences. However, if such an event occurs, the firm has to bear monetary and defame losses which are sometimes irrecoverable to the business. So this is what an intentional frauds. Sometimes intentionally business is going to deal with frauds or fraudulent activities. They're going to commit with some fraudulent activities, so that fraudulent activities will going to give a loss to the defame losses to the organization, which are sometimes irrecoverable to the organization. So this is what an intentional frauds. And these are the 5 types of operational risk. See, the effects due to this operational risk may create irrecoverable losses to the organization. Sometimes the losses can also lead to the cancellation of licenses for the responsible employee, or it may be to the organization as a whole. Sometimes it may be the job loss may happen due to the errors, that may be human error or maybe technical issues, and as a whole part organization may lose licenses. That cancellation of license may happen due to these kind of operational risk or errors, and it creates damage to the brand name, to the employee as well as the organization, and it leads to a lifetime losses and trust in the market for such employee or for such organization. Okay, so this is what happening due to the operational risk. And the operational risk is inevitable in any and all processes and all the transactions. Thus is one type of risk which is controllable in nature, that is operational risk. Somehow it is controllable in nature, however not guaranteed to be eliminated. We can't guarantee to be eliminated this kind of risk. Even if all control checks are in place, there is scope at various steps for such type of error. The best that can be done is to have a good quality check process at the end of any type of product processing. At all the type of product processing, we should have a good quality check process, and this quality check process should be inbuilt within the departments before the product is delivered to the clients, or before the product is delivered to the end user or customer. Such quality check owners then become responsible for the entire product processing and are liable to any product and product and product related questions or clarifications are required maybe in future by the customers or by the clients or end users. Okay, and this becomes the organization's responsibility at the end of all to deliver a quality product as per the norms of the norms and agreements of the organization between them. So the norms and agreements which is abide by the organization with them, with the clients. So after all, for the client, company's promised delivery is all that matters, a lot. Delivering a good product to the customer is matters a lot. So if the operational risk doesn't happen, so that will be done easily by the organization. Okay, I hope you understand. This is what an operational risk. Thank you all. Jai Shri Gurudev.